wanted to tell you.
We're tired
I
of hearing
want to
from the
hear how
people
lit
that
it
are
is.
outside. No, I'm just playing. We should be. We should have them in Discord video, like with the camera flipped around, so we could like be there experiencing it, huh? Yeah, that would be ideal. Just watching sushi come in, I just get hungry. Like fuck.
Yo, if you really want to have fun, like you gotta hit Roppongi District, bro. That's where you gotta go.
I
Yo, go
still need to
by and
go,
show
bro.
up.
Yeah, I got FOMO. Yo, why did I spend all day clone shopping? What is wrong with us?
Because you're about to snipe some shit. Duh. Come on now.
Yo, so let's talk about, and I don't know if you want to talk about it. Like I was talking with Shake in the Discord, and anybody who has an opinion on this, let us know. Is it better to hold more clones or use the ETH to get Air Forces and monoliths and buy pods and buy Animus and buy all the other stuff? Or are you just a clone maxi and would prefer to have more clones?
At
That's a
this
Because,
good question.
price, clones.
yeah, yeah, lately,
Clones.
bro, I've been in this mindset like, I can always chase side quests later, but like, how long are clones going to be around 3 ETH or 2 ETH in the 2 to 3 ETH range, right? So I got the one, and now I'm like stressing trying to grab another one, and because the clones are the access token to all the other shit, right? Like, am I going to go buy all the stuff that was given to clones, or do I just get more of the money per, like, more of the goose, sell the egg type shit? But I'm not saying airdrops and stuff are coming, but like, so far, the value has been driven back to clones. And I don't give a fuck what anybody on the timeline says about clones having not having value driven back to them. They for sure have, bro. They for sure
I
have.
have I have some input regarding this since you're the one who convinced me to buy a clone.
Yeah, we had this convo late at like midnight the other night, bro, and you had a bunch of
Yeah.
Air Forces. You had enough Air Forces to get like 2 clones, bro, or some shit. I remember.
Yeah, no, I know. I still have some Air Forces that I decided to forge, and I have one undead left, which is unforged that I'm trying to figure out what to do with. But long story short, by the time the shoes come in the mail in October, God knows how much ETH is going to cost. God knows how much clones are going to cost. And this little blur window is going to end, and hopefully things are going to get better when that ends. And realistically, I feel like if you really want to, the same way everyone can find an AR hoodie, if you really want to, I'm sure it might cost a little more, but you could find your size off someone in Discord for a pair. I'm sure someone's going to be like, they don't like how they look IRL or how they fit. And sure, say you spend like a couple hundred extra if they go up when they come in the mail. But if your clone goes up 2 ETH or whatever, you're going to be like, fuck it. I'm down to pay the whatever extra I paid on the shoe later since I caught the deal on the clone now. So yeah, you kind of
Yeah,
got me in the right mindset.
that's what I've been
But now
thinking
you're
as
saying
well.
that for one pair of shoes though. Like, what if you bought like 5 to 6 pairs of shoes
That
instead of the clone? Then like,
that's what I'm
would that
saying.
difference be the same?
Look, so what I'm saying is the shoes have stayed the same the whole time. I remember when it was like zero point 0.5 for a pair of drips and a clone was like 9 to 10 ETH. And people were trading multiple shoes for clones. And now that I think about it, shoes are still the same and were never manipulated. So I feel like there was no deal really to catch. That's why I'm just like, now if you think about it, what is it? 5 drips equals 1 clone is like, sure, they might be worth more once again in hand when they come in. But I feel like,
It's a longer play. You know,
yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's in
yeah,
think
October.
retail.
It's an
So you're paying retail for a
I'll
clone
be
pretty much.
real. I'll be real with you. Clones just have the value. Like for me, like ETH, you're not gonna get somebody paying you ETH for your shoes. I don't think it's that easy. But cash, yeah, you might get it if that's your thing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, like I'm not gonna lie. I wanted cash for some of my shoes. That's why I got some shoes because I'm a reseller. I'm definitely gonna flip some. But if I had no choice and I had to choose between a few pairs of shoes and a clone, and I had neither, I would get the clone and then try to come back to the shoes later because I don't think that deal will last long for the clones, and I feel like the price won't fluctuate way too crazy for the shoes. Even though they will be super limited and might be hard to find your size in the random pairs, but I think you can figure it out.
Yeah, I think what I would add
Bro,
to that is at the end of the day, like the clones are the access, right? So when you think about all of the different DNAs and whatever else is coming later, like this is the time, like if you can and you can afford it without overextending yourself, this is the time to really pick up like, whatever DNA that you vibe with and whatever extra that you can. Because when this stuff hits longer term, and again, speculating a little bit here, but depending on how incubation and hibernation works and the different mechanics with animus and everything else, your DNAs are going to play a factor, right? So from that standpoint, and thinking, and if you go even like longer term, again, I think it all comes back to clones and the fact that these, whatever comes gives you that access, guaranteed access to, future shoes, future clothing, whatever it might be. So yeah, I would say like if you can, and just don't go and sell and spend your rent money or whatever else and get this stuff, right? But if you're able to get it, this is the time to pick up whatever DNA, and I would say it almost doesn't matter what the clone actually looks like. If you already have like one or two clones that you vibe with, it's more about, again, that access, and once you understand that, it's, and you have the conviction and the long-term vision, then it makes sense, right? Plus you get to create with these 3D files and mix and match, right, which is pretty amazing. So there's definitely an incentive there for, in my opinion, in my mind, for picking up as many DNAs as you can, but it all comes down to money.
Don't forget the gaming aspect that we're expecting to come down the line
100%.
too. That's the most fun.
Yeah. No, like I said, like, there's the
So
financial side of it, and there's the fact that, yeah, you have multiple characters for whatever is to come.
Yo,
So
I
the-
gotta.
You think the Air Force Ones can go into gaming though?
They already are.
Yeah, 100%.
They already are.
100%.
Somebody's playing in Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, they already are.
Yeah, so
Yo, I got a couple of questions here. One, Compound always talks about the futters. I don't see them. Like I don't like. I guess like my algorithm does not show the futters.
Yeah, the
so-
crickets came out this week.
No, I found two of them last night, bro. You better believe I found two of them last night. And
But
I wrote,
they're not even crickets. Those are just like roly polies. They're quiet. I can't hear them.
I don't know how I found them. It's like Twitter's putting them on my timeline. Like, here you go, wreck this man. No, but I did a copy pasta of one of them, made him look silly, right? Didn't want to take accountability for any of his actions. Put all the blame on teams and founders. It was kind of ridiculous.
Well,
Hey, bro,
Compound,
at
what I
least
will
we got
say,
good
though-
whales coming in.
Sorry, Pumpisha. What I would say, though, like if you go back to the last, thread, comments, whatever he posted, there's actually some really interesting things that he, and I know you know who I'm talking about, that he wrote in there that I thought was very interesting, and kind of highlights why some people are interested in some projects versus others. So as much as we say it's fun, and there's obviously some things that are wrong there, and I think it puts things into perspective and why people feel a certain way about whatever. What I will say is when you think about Artifact, I think it's the difference between
Is
building.
this thing not on?
Oh, can you not hear me?
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry, I had my mute button on. Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say it's the difference between building a long-term, business really focused on like going mainstream and going, up different verticals, right, and really expanding, versus building a niche, exclusive community or project focused on one vertical and one lane. And I think that's really what you're seeing. And I think the longer we're in the space, you'll start differentiating between, one versus the other. And there's nothing wrong, again, full stop with any of it, right? But it's that's where the disconnect comes in. And I think people come into, whether it's CloneX or, other projects, with, what they think they want or what they think the project is about, and then realize it's not really catering to what they want. And that's where the disconnect comes in. But going back to the accountability piece, right? Like, you have to man up or woman up and look in the mirror and say, yeah, I didn't make the right decision based on what I was after. But a lot of people don't do that, right? Like, they'll blame the founders, they'll blame, the team, they'll blame execution, or blow up, mistakes that happen, and keep after that, and take no accountability. So, but I thought there was some really interesting things that that he posted. I was like, oh, I can see that. But yeah, no accountability.
I'm
Yo,
bullish.
I don't know. Heavy, lots of rat DNA besides
Oh,
all of that.
for
Other,
sure.
I did a good
I
set.
am bullish.
But
Yo,
but
I'm just
I
fucking
knew
with you.
where he was coming. Like, I got it. I was like, okay, if you get past the bias and all that stuff, like, I can see why there's, some salt in the wounds there and feeling some type of way about it, is all I'm saying. But yeah, definitely some rat DNA. Like, no questions asked.
Yeah. Did SPJ get to answer or ask his questions? I feel like he had questions, and I don't know if I answered
yeah,
them.
I had like couple, so I got one question answered. The second one was like someone who has like one clone at this point. Is it better to get a second clone, or should I go for the Animus and the pod? I don't know. I don't even know what the pod is. I kind of did like a quick read on
So
I can
Animus,
answer that.
but I don't even know what the
Let
pod
me
is.
give you my
go
The
for
thoughts.
it.
second
Dude,
clone.
Well, no,
Yep,
I
second
would
I
clone.
say
would say
second
it
clone.
depends. It
Yep.
depends. If you want to display your collection and do all these different things and all that, then yeah, it makes sense to get the pods. If you're all about the main collection and just, again, future incentives or creating, then it comes down to, like, how much can you spend on either clone or Animus. And I would say Animus is more accessible right now. And you kind of get front seat. You can pair up your clone with your Animus, and then figure it out later, right? But if you're thinking to yourself, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford a clone in 6 months down the road, because if they pump, um, it's going to the moon, and then, then I really can't do it. Then secure your clone now, right? And then figure out the rest later. So
Let me tell you something.
Compound's going to be like,
Oh, go ahead, Teddy. No, so I mean, I originally just had one clone. I bought it really high. And when it does pump, it's really unfortunate because now you're battling the decision to take profit or leave the ecosystem that you love, right? Because you now don't have a clone, you lose access. You're still part of the community, but you kind of lose holders chat, you lose your PFP. And that really does suck. It was a super bad, like it was a shitty predicament to be in. I bought a clone at 15 ETH and it pumped, to 23 ETH. And one of the main reasons why I didn't take profit is because I still wanted to be part of clones and Artifact. I didn't want to sell my only clone. So while they're low right now, I would try to secure a second clone so that you could take profit and not lose your PFP. And then later down the road, you can always buy in Animus for 1 ETH. If it pumps, 0.75, 1 ETH, 2 ETH, like you could do that later. But if clones pump, there's a point like in the bull where they could become unreachable again. Where like I was in trouble, man. I was like one clone, not enough ETH to buy a second one. So that's why I'm over here like selling side quests to stack clones, so I could actually take some profit this time and still get the benefits of having clones.
Okay, yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I also want to point out you said only clones.
Yo, bro. Baron submitted his new Angel only clones. We're gonna see how it turned. No, I'm just kidding. He did not do that. She's an angel.
Angels
You
are the
talking to
worst,
me?
man. They
You
just
talking to me?
act proper in public, but
It's a perfect way to describe me.
Baron, we need to build lore around her now. Like we got Maya going with some AI
Yeah, she's
lore.
loco. She's loco.
She's
crazy girl.
She's a Hispanic with like heavy Spanish background, so she's like light skin.
Yeah. That's what my wife and I call ourselves. Because she's Lauren, I'm Coleman. We're loco. So
Does
yeah,
she
that's this.
does she like this clone better?
Dude, she thinks the other clone's better looking. Not that she thinks this
What?
girl's beautiful, but I was like, that other girl she was a hipster, babe, compared to this chick. She just got gold hoops.
Yeah,
to match her
true.
gold, I mean, we always fall in love with our first clone, right? And the thing is, like, she never said a word about liking that clone until it was gone. Even asked her over dinner. She's like, "Oh, that's fine." Thing gets sold, and as soon as she saw it on Rizzo's profile, she's like, "I do not like seeing my clone on that profile." So Compound's kind of right. Like, I don't know. I want to be a part of Animus, so like I'll play like devil's advocate. Like it would kill me not to have an egg. But like I know what Compound's saying too. It's just like, oh, what's your budget? You know what I mean?
But isn't there like another 20K dropping of Animus?
It's a
but
maximum
I'd
of
like to.
extra 20. It might not be, right. So what they communicated is it could be an extra 20K, but it's really going to be based on future lore moments, right? So depending on how the story goes and markets and whatever they're trying to build and all that stuff, that will impact how, when, and how much they drop of this stuff along the way. So yeah, there's another 20K floating out there, but it might not be like boom instant when when they do the public sale, right? Like it might be smaller batches. Like we don't know that stuff at this point.
Yeah, like think of it as like company stock that's not been issued, right? Like they have the right to issue the stock at any time. Now it's going to have a dilutive effect, but the idea is that they would do that at the right time. And so anytime that topic comes up, because it was something I was hung up on for a while, but the more and more that I've thought about it and talked to others, it's like the team knows it's out there. They know that they can't have another event that is where the rollout of an asset affects the price, right? So of the existing asset that was dropped to holders, they just don't. That like there's too much PTSD in the space in this community to like even come close to that. So I have no idea how they will do it. I have some ideas of like how it could happen. I think like the way we thought about it before is like another major partner, some sort of game, some sort of like mass like thing, or the way that Tevi described, like just it's over time and it's just and they put it in there to reserve the right, so they're not restricted by the contract as it's written. They've left an opportunity for growth. The other thing they could have done was just put it in there to make it so they didn't have a monolith type situation where the thing ran off way before in price, way before it was ready to be rolled out. So again, I don't know the exact answer, but I've thought about it a lot, and that's my answer as I'm sticking to it right now.
Yo, I feel like Anya came up just when I asked that question. I feel like she has something to say about this.
There are landmines everywhere here from an NDA perspective, so I'm gonna maybe pass.
Yo, so slick with
Was
it.
that even? I didn't even hear anything. I must be rugged.
Yeah, no, Anya was talking.
I know. I heard her.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
wait. Let's.
That was
Yeah, go ahead,
gaslighting,
Arch.
right? Gaslighting. Yeah, we talked about that the other time.
What's up, Arch?
Yo,
Send them a yellow pass or whatever they do in soccer.
Oh man, I was just coming up because I was down there smashing the laugh button. Definitely not laughing at y'all. I was laughing at myself. Because yeah, there's just so many different perspectives. I'll step on some landmines. I mean, yeah, you can have two clones, and you can still round trip shit. So take profits when you can, all that fun shit. But yeah, having 2 clones is definitely dope. And then selling one, you'll have like this remorse. And that's what's kind of crazy about NFTs to me, is like you actually do kind of become attached to this figure. So, and now I have like little art figurines that I've painted that are like laying around my house reminding me of it. It's like, oh.
I agree. I guess the way I look at it right now is, I bought clones that I actually don't plan to sell, but if it came down to it, the main one, like the way I looked at it is like I have one main clone, and that's my demon. That's the one that, ride or die. That's because that's going to be my Web3 identity. But everything else, I think, is fair game. Now, obviously, I'm picking up ones that I like aesthetically, and the reason for it is, yeah, when things are down or whatever, if you like what you hold, you're not gonna worry about dumping it unless you absolutely need to, because real life happens. So it helps with the conviction play and just staying in it. But when things are riding high, again, it's like remembering, yeah, you got to take profit. Like there's nothing wrong with it. And that weirdly what that does, because things go in cycle, right? So if you take profit near the top or halfway to the top or whatever, and things come back down, right? Think about the stock market, then you can buy more. Like you have dry powder for it. But to everybody's point earlier, Compound and Baron as well, and a few others, if you have multiple, Arch Nemesis Society, if you have multiple, right, you can sell, take your profit, you still have one, you can still participate, you can still hang out. Not that you need a clone to hang out with everybody, right? But it hits different if you do have one, right? And that's kind of like represents you. So that's why I think it's, if you can swing it without, again, and I can't say this enough, if you can do it without putting yourself and overextending yourself, get multiples.
So you get a clone, you get a second clone before you get pack an animus egg.
Yeah, I would sell animus eggs for a sixth clone.
My God.
I would do 2 clones.
It's the access pass, bro.
If I could only do one of each, like if you put a gun to my head and say you can only get either a clone, you already have a clone, and you can either get a clone or an animus, I personally would get an animus at this point because it's lower investment. I wouldn't feel overextended, and I know I can participate in everything. And worst case, I can dump the animus and still hold on to my clone. But knowing that animus, the way it was presented, like the next big IP and all these different things, and not be able to be invested in that, even if you can grab one later, it doesn't feel right. But I contrast that with, again, if clones run, they run, right? So you really have to like bring it back to what are you in the project for, and what is your personal drive for wanting one asset versus the other. Like for me, one clone is plenty. I got the extra one. The only reason why I even went and got the second clone is because of the different traits. And I plan, if this becomes a thing, in my head it is, and I'm going to stick to that, that notion. If I can infuse my animus, my drip traits to my animus, and combine it with the CRL's elements, and build like just a massive OP animus that's like you can battle and take people down, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to build like the most OP animus ever. Like if you step up to me,
the animus is like Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, that's what I don't know if that's the case, but if you can if you can move the traits onto your animus, that's what I want to do, right? Like that's why I have the drip clone. And so that's the main driver behind it.
That's like
Fading.
To me, that dream sounds like us getting jewelry for free.
Yo,
like
fading
I don't
clones
see it
right
happening.
now. Fading clones are in the 2 to 3 ETH range right now is absolutely crazy. You can always buy whatever animus you want once they reveal, because you know how the floors dump when things reveal. You can buy whatever the fuck you want for 1 ETH if you want. But fading clones in 2 to 3 ETH range, when clones are the reason that there even is animus right now, like clones were given the animus eggs, and you're gonna wait for them to go back up to 6 before you decide to buy them and hope your animus profits can get you one at 6. Like, no, it should be the other way around. You could sell a clone later down the road and pick up 6 fucking animus. The price difference between the two is just a little crazy right now. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta
In my
take what I
opinion,
say with a grain of salt, because I have 2 clones, right? And I'm just telling you that if I only had 1 clone personally for me right now, being with why I'm in this project and where I see it going, I would currently, in my current financial situation and everything else, I would pick up an animus. If I didn't have a second clone already, I would pick up an animus. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, but I appreciate your perspective, but we're answering
That was a drunk
SBJ's.
tap. It was a drunk tap. I did not mean to thumbs down. My bad.
No, you're good.
No, so we're answering. Remember, this all stemmed from SBJ, who has 1 clone,
Yes,
and he's
true.
determining whether he spends his money. Right? It's different for us. We got 5, we got 2. You know, however many you got, it's different, right? Because there's different decisions. He's trying to decide on whether he's going to get a second one or
that's
spend
a
money
good point.
on all this side quests. At least get a second clone before. Yeah.
Didn't
So
Tevi said if he had 1 clone,
yeah,
he would get an egg before he got a second clone.
But he has 2 clones, so he didn't get an egg before he got.
In his pretend scenario, he
didn't even follow his own scenario.
No,
he got
darn it, dude! I never want to get in an argument with Compound ever. Never.
Well, am I just talking over you? I'm sorry.
No. Tevi, am I missing something here?
No,
Tevi.
So again, my thoughts.
Scenario is
if you could scenario.
Tevi said if I had 1 clone.
If I had yeah. So let me restate again what I'm saying.
Which SBJ has 1 clone.
SBJ has 1 clone, right? So I mean, he's gonna have to make. I don't know his financial situation, right? So,
forget the finances. He didn't ask about finances.
Okay.
He's asking one or the other.
Problems.
So
my
answer still stands.
SBJ has 1 clone. If he buys 1 more clone, how much would he have? Can we stay away from math?
I'm going
please?
to Rose on the
Let's
math.
just say if I buy another clone, I won't have enough.
I like Tevi's take. I like Tevi's take.
Yeah, I would still personally, if you ask me, I would still, at this point in time where things are at, I would still pick up the Animus first because it's an easier entry point, and then step up to a clone. Now, if you truly cannot do both, and it's like one or the other, and you have to pick, and whatever, then yeah, get the clone, because then you can try to catch the train with the Animus later on. But to me, it's clone, Animus, then another clone, and like ladder up. But if you cannot, and it's one or the other, then yeah, just take the clone and hope that Animus doesn't run as far as it could go, and then take that train while it's running. That's my answer.
Animus isn't going to outrun you though, SPJ. Like the clones might regain their floor around the 6 ETH range, right? But the Animus are not going to run to 6 ETH and price you out. Like they could run to 1 ETH. We've seen them there, but we haven't seen them there since they dropped. They were briefly over an ETH before they dropped down to 0.9 for about a month. Let's go to Rose Jade. Sorry.
My anxiety is through the roof.
This is good.
I only have 1 clone, fam. Okay,
I have 0 clones. 1's good.
I don't know what to do. I just bought shoes, but I have an Animus. I have some pods. I need to reevaluate. I was gonna ask Tevi, can you do a flow chart, infographic, decision tree? Because it feels like we're playing Plinko. So I'm gonna age myself. If Price is Right, there's a game called Plinko with pegs on it. You drop the disc and it just falls out. You don't know what your result is. I feel like we're playing Plinko here. But no, now I'm searching for clones just to see what move should I make. I am the worst trader and investor in NFTs because I just love my NFTs, and I don't sell. I just hold hold and hold, but I want to be smart about it. So I will listen intently. Just
I do
wanted to
the
throw
same.
support.
I posted the other day. It was like, don't just talk about it, be about it. And it was because I'd sold off some side quests and got like I got my 5th clone by selling off all my monoliths. I sold off my other side vessels. I sold my Murakami blade. I sold a couple other things, like some gem passes for OpenSea. And it was basically because I have these conversations a lot and I bring them up, but I wanted to practice what I preach, right? Because I do truly believe that having more clones, the main access pass, the #1 collection, is gonna do more for you in the long run than trying to gamble the side quests. And you can always buy those later. Like once Animus reveals, holy shit, there's a Murakami one, I'll grab it for 1.5 ETH, right? Or whatever it is relation to the clone floor. I don't believe they're gonna pass the clone floor, but I mean, some people do, and they could be dope. But let's hear from Anya. What's up, Anya?
Hey, my arm is so sore. It took forever for you to call me. No, I'm
Oh
just
my god.
kidding.
All right, I'm leaving.
No. I was gonna say, I know that the like price points it like are a consideration with SPJ's like situation, but if you were on like maybe you're more on the collector side, the other option is that you could pick up a mint vial for a clone, and then you get an animus that comes with that, and it's a brand new clone and a brand new animus egg that's attached to that new clone. But that's just like depending on what your situation is and what you're weighing, like it might not be a good idea for you if you're not more of like a collector.
If any
Oh,
collectors out there are going for like that whole artifact experience, I still have some monolith ones. You can open them up. You might not know what's in them. Super dank.
So you're not those like lace locks no one wants.
Engine.
no, those are in Monolith 2. Get it right, Kane. No,
I
I'm just
actually
playing.
like that
Monolith
mistake. I actually really,
Monolith
I
2 is
think that's
inside
a
Monolith
really
1.
good take.
Monolith 2 no longer exists. It vanished.
Yeah,
Like,
so
can I, and and you don't have to answer SBJ, but I'm gonna ask, and you can say nope, none of your business. But what is your budget? Like, what are you trying to spend?
Yo, like getting a second clone would be like a stretch for me. So like, I mean, I still can make it, but I don't know. I feel like the mint like vial. I think that's gonna be like super expensive. Like, I haven't even looked at
Those
it.
are at 5 ETH right now. You could probably with it for like 4.5, but you're talking upper fours either way.
Oh, 5. Okay.
But you're also gambling to get a clone that's not too good that you might not like in
Or you
in
might
terms of
get a
money.
DNA. You might get a DNA Murakami. You might get an undead.
Yo.
You might hit the
You might
lottery
get
for
an angel.
55 bill.
You might get the ugliest clone you've ever seen,
But
too.
either way, you get an
Yeah.
animus egg with it, and that's kind of why I'm like, yeah, you can hit both at the same time based on what you're looking to spend. So again, I think we're going full circle. It comes down to how much you're looking to spend, and what you can spend. But yeah, if your budget is like 3 ETH, then yeah, maybe pick up the clone right now, because I don't know if you're gonna find clones down the road. Um, so that makes sense. I'm just telling you what I personally would do, which is I already have my dream clone, right? So to me, it's more about getting an
Well,
animus. So
put yourself in his shoes.
yeah, and yeah, agreed.
You would secure a clone. If you have your dream clone, you for sure want a second clone to take profit on, so you don't ever have to sell your dream clone. That's my thought process. Like,
But
I was fucked, bro. I had one clone. I could not take any profit, and I didn't want to leave the ecosystem, and it's a shitty corner to be in, right? That's where I was
yeah.
at when we pumped to 22 ETH. I'm like, I want to take profit, but I love these people, and it was
No, I hear that, but also again, for full disclosure, right? Like, I don't personally really look at clones as quote unquote like an investment. Like, to me, it's more about It's more about the technology, what they're pushing, and all that. Yes, I'm not saying that with the mindset that now that I have two clones, like this downtrend has been a blessing, right? Like I have two clones, I have two animus, I have more shoes than I typically would wear in a year. Dre would say, man, that's
For
like
7 days in the week, man.
yeah, Dre would say
That's
that's
what's
like what
up.
I wear in one day, right? But whatever. But for me, again, like that's like I'm at a point now with this collection that yeah, like I really don't need to take profit. But you know, if you're kind of treating it as an investment, then compound is absolutely right. So again, it's really hard to say do this or do that. I think take all the stuff that people have said tonight, figure out what your own situation is, and kind of make that call. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. That's my point.
No, it's a fair assessment. Anybody else want to chime in? Anybody else have different perspective that we're not looking at?
So do I spend my tuition money on a clone, or I save it for my tuition?
Nah, definitely buy all
What
the
are you
clones you can
studying?
get.
What are you studying?
Marketing.
Oh, that
Oh, that's not bad.
yeah. You maybe keep it on
Uh,
Just
tuition.
get the clone and try to
That's
get a
not like liberal
scholarship.
arts, right?
No, Kane's got a good setup, dude. You don't want to bite the hand that feeds you, bro.
Yeah.
Because then you come home without that. I know how that works when you don't use the tuition money on tuition. Tried that. When I went to college, my dad sent me with fucking money for school and for the full year. It was like the full year's tuition and my spending money. That shit was gone in like 2 months. I paid the tuition bill, like half of it at least. But it was a good lesson on budgeting.
Good thing there was no such thing as NFTs then. That would have been hectic.
There was open bars. We had such a good time.
We had yeah, I didn't realize that you can't write off or you can't ever get rid of these student loans, right? Like I learned that the hard way.
Bro, at least in Canada, like it's interest free. Oh no, you don't even have to pay it back till you make over $40,000.
I think college
and then
in
once
Canada
you make
is
over 40,
free.
What?
Isn't college in Canada free?
If you're
It's like
indigenous.
$7,000 or something, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not like that bad, but it's still something.
That's the alphas to go up to university in Canada.
So if you're an international student, which if you were from the U.S., you'd be an international student. Tuition's like 40 to 50 grand.
Oh, so they make it, icing us. Yeah, you guys have the leg up on us on the schooling costs.
Yeah, like so for my international friends, like 1 year for them is more than the entire program for me.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Holy.
Can you imagine paying extra to be cold?
Could you imagine going to college in Canada and having
their parents like buy them like nice cars and they buy them houses and stuff, so they're chilling.
I played golf with a Canadian today, guys. I was saying holy the whole round.
Did he think it was funny?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I was like, hey.
Oh shit. Here we
All
go
right,
again.
Yo, I heard Canada and I got summoned. So
it's like putting out the bat signal. It's a maple leaf we threw up in the air.
Yo, school is not free in Canada. I don't know what the fuck they're teaching you in America, but it's not free.
If you're indigenous, it's free though.
No, they tell us that to make us realize how down bad we are. Yeah, college and healthcare is free everywhere else except here, and it just like pisses us off. But then we realize like we're not doing shit about it.
Or like when you hear those Canadians complain, they got nothing to complain about.
We got the fucking snow for 8 months. We got a lot to complain about, and also like listening to you guys and your imperial system, I have a lot of complaints to be honest. So, but yo, how's your night? How's everyone's night? I gotta be nice sometimes, honestly. I feel like I'm an asshole too much.
Deep, why are you walking home right now?
I'm waiting for my Uber.
Is there snow on the ground?
There's snow everywhere.
There's snow everywhere. Kira, can you confirm or deny?
Oh, I'm on the west coast of Canada, the best coast of Canada. They got snow over here. We're living it up right now.
Yo, Von Sol is shaking in his boots right now.
Bro, I found out Von Sol lives like 10 minutes from me, or probably less, like because he won't dox exactly where he is.
Oh, you guys are gonna get along.
Yo, Kane, you're in Ottawa, bro. Like, what's there in Ottawa? You're like riding bikes and shit, or what do you do
Dude,
for
Von
fun?
Sol's there. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
have
bored as
a
fuck
clone.
too. Would you say you canoe?
And I said, at least there's another clone here. Well, there's a Nizuki and there's a clone holder that I know of, so we're chilling.
How many people are in Ottawa?
I know a bunch of board apes
Like
from
a million.
Ottawa. Want
Not a lot.
It's true. Canadians are big into crypto. There used to be some really big exchanges up there that did some big scamming. I watched a documentary on it.
Quadriga. I got
Yeah.
hard rugged from Quadriga. when I
No
was in
way.
university. Yeah,
All right.
I logged in one day and I'm like, where the fuck? What the fuck is going on? And it was backed by Equifax, like, bro.
Yo, RIP Deep's old account.
It was 5 Bitcoin just gone.
Shout out Quadriga.
Holy.
Nah, Deep is not even joking. It's legit. We all lost a lot of money. A lot of Bitcoin and a lot of Ethereum. A lot.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, bro. I watched that documentary.
Bro, watch this. So, you know the guy, the Vitalik loser? So this guy used to be walking around with this like weird, like, you know, like the backpacks that girls wear when they're like teenagers and they're like really tiny and they're just like at their back is just like this little tiny teddy bear or whatever. Yeah, homeboy used to like be walking around downtown like a crazy person talking about fucking colored coins and all types of crazy shit. He was, I don't trust him. I don't follow him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've met Vitalik a couple times, and the guy's a genius, to be honest. But he's an alien. He doesn't have emotions, but he understands you. He was communicating with me telepathically, and I just understood somehow. But how are you gonna FUD Vitalik, bro? How's that even possible? Or you should go to Solana and go on your SQL servers, you know, run your SQL commands.
Yo, bro, it's easier to make money on Solana because everything's a rug. And like, if you go in with that mentality that like, okay, like there's a couple things that aren't rugs, like Claynosaurs and stuff, because they're cute, because they're for kids. But like, what the heck's going on with this Mad Lab thing? Have they given back the 250,000 Solana that they like, quote unquote, honey potted?
Bro, I heard they gave it back to the people that were trying to use the bots. Like, why would you do that?
They gave it back. Yeah, they did.
Speaking of rugs, I just got a fortune cookie, and it says I should start a business.
Yo, you can't make this shit up, bro. You really can't.
Is that all it said?
We got the numbers though. You gotta share the numbers. Deep.
Yeah, send them numbers.
It said
Don't
zeros.
have
It was all zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Zero.
Just said bad take, zeros.
We should do a fortune cookie reading.
That would be
That'd
dope.
awesome.
Make a bad take fortune cookie.
Man,
Yes.
I love that
Yo.
idea, Rose Jade. If y'all make, I'm still waiting for my T-shirt compound and my hat and all of that stuff, which I feel like, you know, because I live in Minnesota, you don't really care about me. I feel like you're putting me in the same
Yo, is
basket
everyone
as.
quiet because you're like in the mountains and your internet is shit? Or?
No, you're just rug deep.
Oh, Deep can.
Oh, you live
did
in
it on purpose.
Minnesota?
He
You're
can hear me.
basically Canadian then.
He can hear me.
You're not getting anything.
I like how Deep stole Rose Jade's content. Like, she literally said we should do a bad take fortune cookie, and then Deep went and completely stole
And
it.
that's why
like, I don't want to hear.
correct him,
You gotta learn
and then
from
he
the best
just like
compound
skipped
is how
right
to
over me.
steal content left and right. been writing notes, and like, yeah, he steals all my shit, and I have a whole log. I'm gonna create a thread. I'm gonna change my name to wall.reebok, and I'm gonna give unbiased opinion.
Bro, you
What
will
is
not.
happening right now? What is the conversation even about anymore?
Yo, Anya, keep up, bro.
Yeah,
You
well,
have to keep
how are
up.
you not
How are you
tracking?
surviving in the meme world if you ain't keeping up?
Oh my God!
I
Hey,
got
Anya's
you.
trying to take
Artifact,
notes
keep you
though.
on board.
She's trying to
So you
take
need
notes. So
to.
imagine her in
Listen,
the
She's
Monday
like, back
meeting,
up, back up. They're like, when to when on? You're like, when the
team
meeting
meeting.
started.
All right, so
hold on. Yeah, I've gotta
Introductions.
catch up the team on these very important happenings.
yeah, she's in the team meeting and she's like, well, apparently Compound steals deep content in his jokes. So in turn, he started stealing it from Rose. I started
Yeah,
Deep started stealing from Rose, like,
I
and
heard.
they're like, what? It's like, yeah, it's the memes.
And
You
then
don't
she's like, let me
understand.
put it on the whiteboard.
I
Let me
never
draw
Let me
it.
put
heard.
it in there. And it's she's connecting the dots, like who's stealing whose content, and then whale.reebok, who is previously Deep, drops a
Honestly,
thread.
I
Just
don't
all of a
even.
sudden breaks out an eraser and just erases Deep like face at one point. And Deep is gone. Okay, now Deep's back.
It's now whale.reebok.
Yo,
Yo,
I honestly
y'all
don't
are
care
too
if someone
much
steals
right
my
now.
jokes, because saying it twice, I feel bad for the audience. The people listening to it, they have to hear it twice. That kind of sucks. Kind of wastes their time, you know. Yeah, sorry to the audience. You guys have to listen to us on a daily basis. You
No,
guys should
bro.
probably get something better to do.
I went
Hey,
into
you know what's even better is like when Artifact has their like regular meetings with Nike execs and stuff. They're like, so, like, how is everyone? You know, and they're like, well, Compound and Dre had their bad take spaces again, and they're still doing well, and like, and they're you got all these other people that are mixed into all this stuff too.
Cass said he
Like,
saw my Cass
like
said he saw my Twitter on a presentation one time, like my Twitter was being presented because of some tweet I put out or something to like Nike execs. I'm like, what? Bro, don't show them that, dude. We're going to zero if you show them my Twitter. No, so I think it's hilarious to think, and I don't know if this is how it goes down, the founders or who, you know, the ops guy or whoever's running your project managers presenting to the Nike execs like the copy pastas we've dropped this week and the memes that are going through. Okay, so look here. So how much did you guys spend on marketing? Nothing. We spent nothing. There's this group and they've been copy pasting all over the timeline. We've gotten more impressions from a single copy pasta than about $1 million worth of marketing budget. Like we're doing great right now. They're trying to like explain to them what a copy pasta is. It's like, you don't get it. It's just culture. And these execs are like, no. We need to understand. Like, this doesn't make any sense. What do you mean? You just
don't
copy
show up.
somebody else's words and repost it? Like, yeah, it's brilliant, right?
So in the corporate world, we often have to do a glossary of terms for very specific. Can you imagine them trying to explain our phrases? Like, what? So explain to me, what does it mean to go to zero? You know, like just all of the things that they might see. That would be fascinating to be part of the team that
I'm
has to
legit
try to
dying
comprehend.
right now.
They're like,
Yo, going
You're
to
saying
zero is such a PR disaster, though. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go with the Nike execs, though. Damn.
they're
All
wondering
I
why
gotta
we're
do.
pushing the fact that we're going to zero. They're like, this is counterintuitive, you guys. We are not trying to go to zero. We're trying to make profit out here. And you guys are just like, no, you don't understand. It's the culture. It's the memes. What is a meme? Please describe what a meme is.
What does it mean? No, the
Yo,
level of
Compound.
psychological warfare at this point.
You know, I realized why Compound is so good at copy pastas, because the first word is copy. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, that's all I have
Yeah,
to
no
say.
shit. Shout
Yo,
out
Deep's still
copy.
butthurt. Yo.
Yo, I copied one joke from him like the first night he was in here. It's because I barely heard him say it, and he just gave me that idea to say the exact same thing.
Bro,
He hasn't let it go, dude. That's the only time
yo,
it's
it's
ever.
every day. What are you talking about? It happens in the chat. All these people are here to witness it.
Deep's name backwards is Pede, and it matches.
Yo, I'm unsubscribing. Oh, that's funny, bro.
Yo, why? Oh my god! Like
Yo,
we gotta
my God.
reset them.
Wait. So
He's got
I thought
the
it was
sauce.
always like bad cakes going to 0 FUD, like clones are going to 0 FUD, artifacts going to 0
my
FUD. I
god.
thought that was the idea.
No,
You know what
bro, that
pisses me off? I've been a demon and like I talk so much shit. And everyone's like, "Yo, don't stoop to that level." Now everyone's fucking doing it, bro.
it's unbelievable.
I'm gonna
Unbelievable.
change my strategy now. I'm just gonna be nice. So starting now, I'm gonna be really nice.
Hey, I will say though, that's got to be somewhere in the notes, the team notes or something, because Benito messaged me yesterday on that copy pasta that went fucking crazy. Chris ended up doing it, and Benito messaged me, and he goes, "This is amazing," because how deep it got. Like we had it like to the point where you couldn't even see my name at the very beginning. And Benito's like he's DJing at heart, bro, because he messaged me so excited that we ran a copy pasta that deep. He goes, I don't really get to partake in like the DGen culture anymore like this. So like, this is so dope to see. And I was like, yeah, bro, we love a good pasta.
I mean, they're always trying to catch up. So, if you guys could provide me with some really proper definitions of like pampisha and like stupid dumbfire, like that would be perfect
What
because
is
they got to keep up with our
the
slang.
giblet?
I told him, I replied like, because founders have to be careful what they say. I said, no, this copy pasta, I made sure it was founder friendly. Like the founders can post this one and not get heat, right? If anybody fudge you on this one, like what the fuck? Founder friendly. Not every post that Deep and I and everybody else put on the timeline are founder friendly, but that one you can copy pasta.
I tried to do a copy pasta, and then then someone replied back, questioning what do I mean by epic? For the artifact comeback is going to be epic, and I really thought about it for like 30 minutes and how to reply, and then I'm like, oh no, I think I'm supposed to ignore it.
Just
Just move on.
reply back and ask them what they mean by epic, just like to figure out if you guys are even on the same page. What do you mean by epic? And just make them guess what they're asking.
Yes.
Just got to second guess what they're even questioning you about. Like, why would you ask me that question?
It felt like Pandora's box because it was somebody that was very pro artifact and maybe still is, but I'm not sure. And I just didn't want to broach the subject. I'm like, oh, you were so nice to me before. Let's leave it at that.
Compound, where's Maya?
Oh shit! Somebody tag her in the comments for me. She'll come in.
Yo, Rose, I came across this old video. You ever seen those that lady that uses the sponges and then they make painting, then she's like, ooh, look at this color. Do you know what I'm talking about? That
I don't, but I'm really curious now.
It's the sponges, and she make these colors, and she like use it as a stamp, and that's how I imagine you doing your painting.
My paintings, yeah. I want to see. I have. I was gonna do a video of me painting, and then I realized I don't want to give away my secrets. So I did just a video animation of the painting it as I was painting it without my hands and stuff. But yeah, I want to see. I love people's techniques. I have a few quirky ones that I've made my husband swear, don't ever tell anybody how I got this effect. Yeah, one thing that I will share is I have a method where I use a wax pencil underneath it because when you paint over wax, it doesn't soak through, right? And I say wax pencil, but really it's a chubby crayon. So stuff like that. I don't want to tell people what I really do.
Rose, actually, I was meaning to ask you.
So it took me 10 minutes to think of a comeback.
Wow, really deep?
Against
Seriously?
subscribe.
Come on, man. Like,
Sometimes
no,
you get
stop
that
it.
ringing
Just
noise
stop.
in your
Stop.
ear.
Stop.
That's what
Stop
subscribe
it.
is in like spaces.
Like, he does not. Like, how do you do this? Like, where you're able to like not even be distracted? Like, you're a
Well, it's
master.
because
Like, I bow down to you, man. Like, I would be so confused, but you just kept going. That's proper. Anyways.
No, it's because he's rugged, Tevi. That's why he can't even hear you.
He was raising his hands before, and now he's like, "Fuck this shit!" Like I'm just going all in.
Deep, can you hear Tevi?
No, it just says he's connecting. I think you murdered him earlier in the group chat.
Dude.
Oh man, I'm still mad about that, by the way. But I have a question for Rose. Y'all need to wait. My question to you, Rose, is will you be so I know that was just like a time lapse of how you painted, but do you have any pieces that are actually
that kind of generative time lapse of the painting and have it animated like that, or is that just or no?
I have one. So actually, I probably should promote my art more,
Yeah,
but I have one timed edition that I just did for April. That's a time lapse, and I'm making more. So I paint like at least one or two a day, and then I'm doing pictures of them now, so I could do the time lapse effect that I'll share here because
cool. You should,
it's friendly
yeah.
fam. So.
Please tag me because I thought I was like
Mm-hmm.
super cool.
Yeah. And for this particular one that I have here, it was my first attempt at AI, using AI for my painting, because I'm old school. And so I didn't want to use AI to generate art, but I wanted to use AI to try to enhance my art. So it just took pictures, literally, of my finished painting in like little quadrants, and then AI stitched it together. So it looks like I mean, the title here is like, I painted a dream, and then AI dreamt about me painting. And I just love the effect of it blooming. So I'm dabbling, but I'm a little bit more conservative in terms of like how I use AI. But yeah, thanks for asking, Debbie.
Yo, Tevi, did you learn about that new city called Sukan?
Yeah, I'm not falling for that again. Like, I can't believe Compound did that to me. But
Yo,
also, I
bro,
believe it because he told
it was like slow pitch softball, bro. Like you tossed me this slow little softball up. Like I can't just knock that one out of the park, dude. Like it was you set me up for that one. I'm gonna gaslight you and convince you that you did that to
no.
yourself.
Listen, I was over
No.
here actually truly caring and trying to be like engaged and be like, man, what is this man up to? And like he's pushing back the space. What's going on? Blah blah blah. Trying to be a good friend, right? And he just dunked on me. I was like, where did this even come from? Like, I would expect that to happen to Deep or somebody else, but me?
Yeah, Compound actually stole it from me because I actually got it. No, I'm joking. This is the only thing he didn't steal.
Yo, I had to message Deep and I said, jot that down, take notes. No, I felt really bad. Tevi spent all day setting up his giveaway. I know he was finishing up his video, so he wasn't like in the chat. He was really focused on doing some dope shit. And then he decided to not let me win the giveaway and not choose me. So, I mean, yes, I mean, I think he just set himself up for this one. I mean, I could have easily won those Angels Air Forces. I was entered.
I didn't
I
even
mean,
know
when you
because
put
I
it
was
that
rigged from the
way, I
beginning.
feel like, yeah, you probably have a solid point there. I can see,
I'm
I
just,
can see how that went down.
oh my God, bro.
Oh,
He was rigged from the beginning. It's a rigged election.
Yo, I
Deep, you were
entered
so
3
close.
YouTubes, bro.
Like,
Sorry?
Deep, you were actually like, so if you go back and watch it in slow mo, like your name like was literally right there, and it just boop went one more. I felt bad. I was
That's
like,
my
oh
luck.
snap, like Deep really wanted these, and he could have gotten them, but the NFT gods
No,
decided otherwise.
honestly, better if someone else got him. Someone that's an angel. Yeah. I don't deserve it, to be honest. I'd rather work for it than be given it. So, yeah.
Bro, you're lying. If somebody give you
You guys
$100,
hear
would
that?
you would accept that?
You
You'd be
guys
like,
hear
bro,
that? I don't know. What was that?
Subscribe Deep's Rugged again.
I don't know
So
why subscribes been going after me the last few days, bro. But like, if you want war, I will give you war.
Yes.
just don't hack me.
Yes.
We're good.
Yes.
This is the first time I've seen subscribe back down that quick.
Let's go.
Hey, bro,
Did-
this guy could hack me. I don't need that.
No, you don't.
This beard, he's about to shave it. I can't have that happening, bro.
Yo, Deep's the
Subscribe.
only.
I feel
Deep's-
like, well, hold on. Compound. I feel like we've had a mature moment here where Subscribe has realized he's outgunned. He's, as you call it, adjusting fire and retreating, actually. All right. Sorry. Back to you.
Yo, I didn't know I used that as a saying all the time. That was adjust
You
fire.
don't?
Let me adjust fire real quick.
Oh,
No,
I
do.
love when you say that. I'm like, yeah, we're going to adjust fire. Let's go.
Have your head on a swivel. Hey, I'm gonna be honest though. Deep is the only developer to ever have his Twitter hacked. Like, let's be honest. What kind of developer doesn't have like some security in place on
Bro,
his
they have
Twitter?
to fucking call someone at Twitter to get through my account. And good thing I had someone at Twitter, you know, because they don't do shit at Twitter, and so they had enough time to look into it. That's how you know Twitter is fucking whack as fuck.
That was impressive, Deep, that you found that one employee out of what 322 to actually help you. That's pretty amazing. I tried to figure out how to do a live stream on Twitter, but realized it took away the media studio option or something. I don't know. But yes, so glad that you were able to
Do
find
you
somebody.
do you need that option?
I think so because I didn't
Okay.
have the set up before. I'm new to it, right? So I think I need to go through there to set it up.
Somebody actually helped Third Guy with that today. I'll ask the same guy because Third Guy was nice enough to reach out and thank him for it. Because he has a clone friend that taps him on the shoulder occasionally and reminds him to be kind because, you know, he's going to get big very quickly. When he gets bigger, he fuds clones. I'm going to fud him, and he knows that now. So everything is good. Everything is very blessed.
Nobody's ever going to get too big to not catch the smoke from some clones. I'll tell you that right now. I don't care if you got 40,000 followers or write one thread a week or have an unbiased opinion. You can catch this smoke.
Yo,
I
Deep.
was
This
flooding
guy's supposed to
Artifact
be
today.
relaxing. Relax, my guy.
I was flooding Artifact today, and I sent my tweet to the Flood Fighters group, but no one attacked me, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Deep, how did you get your Twitter hacked? Like, I mean, I didn't
So,
see
okay,
anything
you guys
weird.
want to
Like,
know the
how did you even
story?
realize it was hacked?
Well, I
He
was
pissed
at the
off
4-day
Cold,
party,
and
and
Cold
my
showed him
shit
what he's
just shut
about.
down. What?
I know it was Cold. I don't know what you said to Cold, but you said something to make him angry.
No,
That
Cold
guy
is my
doesn't.
boy. That guy is in my DMs. He's chill. He's a funny guy. He's the
What
one
did
that
you say
started
to
the
him?
bad take
Just
going
tell
viral
us.
shit. But if you guys want to know the story, like it's a little like 2 minutes. If you want me to pull a Tevi, I'll do it. But if you don't, we can move
Yeah,
along.
no, definitely do it.
Holy.
Holy. So basically, I was out and my Twitter was trying to show someone my Twitter and it just wasn't popping up. And I was getting this error message and I was like, what the fuck? And I asked my friend, yo, can you see my Twitter? He's like, nah, what the fuck did you do? So I'm like, okay, I go home and I was pretty drunk too. So I called my friend, which I shouldn't have. It was kind of late, but urgent matters. And so he's like, yo, I'll look into it, you dumbass. What did you do this time? So he looks into it. He resets it. Basically, there are these tables, and Tevi probably knows, Kuro probably knows, and like he tried to delete the whole table, like my whole account, and he just didn't have access. Whoever did it, he probably paid someone on Twitter. Instead, they deleted the relationships for like following, unfollowing, and clicked the deactivate button. And so basically, the next day, I had 0 followers, 0 following, and basically they had to run a script to undo everything, and then they checked the logs, they checked the change logs, and in the change logs they found out who it was, and then my friend sent me his LinkedIn. I check his LinkedIn, and that guy previously used to live in Germany. Coincidence? Who's from Germany? Do you guys know anyone from Germany?
I
I know there's
don't.
like
Actually.
some cool
Baron?
mammals that
A Baron?
It's a thread writer. He lives over there. He writes threads about projects.
Mm.
Work with Reebok now. Them dot
Yo, you
Reeboks.
want to know something you're missing from this story, Deep? I'll tell you right now. Before your Twitter was deactivated, the guy tweeted out, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." I swear, bro, because I was like, "What the hell? You you left all the groups. Well, he left all your groups." And then I quickly go to the timeline and I have your notifications on, so I'm like the first one to see your shit. And he goes, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." And then he deleted your Twitter.
Oh my
I don't know if to
god.
try to cover his tracks, but I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
had to ask because Jade messaged me, like Baron and some people from the other groups, and I just left without saying anything, right?
Yeah, we were
And
worried,
that's
man.
not me. Like,
Dude, I thought you left the Demon Zone.
Everybody was worried. I was like, don't worry.
Yeah, I said don't worry.
worry. This is.
It's a Canadian thing. They leave groups
I
whenever the fuck they want.
know.
I thought it was
Really
just a
bad.
weekend thing. People just leaving to mess with me or something.
Well,
And
when
then
the account went blank, it was like everybody's like, "Oh my god, like what happened?" I'm like, "Well, first of all, he's like not in a car accident because that's not what happens when you get in a car accident. Your Twitter doesn't die, you know." So yeah, he's just doing deep things.
And then that's when I found out I got blocked by this threader. Apparently, it's a job now. Like you can actually apply, get a job. You don't need any prior experience, but you just have to know how to search the internet, use ChatGPT, and create clickbait titles. It's that
Copy.
easy, folks.
All you need to know is how to make copy pastas.
Yo,
I have
who
a good
needs a
copy
marketing
pasta idea.
budget? You guys gonna spend so much money on marketing? Just give me an army full of degens and some clone PFPs, and I got you, bro. We will run it. Who need who needs to spend millions of dollars on marketing? Web3 just doesn't. It's the marketing's different. The hype's different on Web3. Sure, traditional marketing like applies, but it's just kind of backwards out here, and it's kind of hard to learn. But you have to be in the trenches every day. Like Rose, you're here every day. You probably notice how different hype cycles are here in Web3, and how different marketing is, and how trends move, and how we like to do the opposite of what we're saying, like go into I don't know, man.
Very much,
You guys know what I'm
word
talking
of
about.
mouth. It's very much word of mouth. I mean, if somebody has the crappy weed, like you don't buy that weed, they lose money. If it's some good ass dank shit, be like, yeah, pass me that. I'm gonna pass to my friend. I'll let them know, and it spreads like wildfire.
There's a few words for it. It's grassroots marketing, guerrilla marketing, in the
I
trenches,
would say
trench warfare
organic.
marketing. It's organic, like word of mouth kind of, but it's a little bit mix of all of that together, right? Because organic would mean it just kind of comes up, but we're actually out here like shilling, like everybody's shilling their bags, whether they know it or not. You're rocking a clone PFP, you're shilling your bags. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Compound
SBJ
teaching a
shilling
marketing
coins.
class, Web3 Marketing 101 over here. I'm glad this is recorded. People need to take notes.
Bro, I would FUD the teacher.
I mean, compost is on a different level, though.
Yo,
What the
Tev, you
teacher?
gotta try harder than that to recover from that murder.
You know what
You
I'm
have health insurance, right?
bro? I studied business and information systems as a minor, and I took maybe two levels of marketing throughout it, right? 2 to 3 levels of marketing, like 102, 202, yeah. And they didn't teach none of this shit, dude. None of it. I
Bro,
mean,
it's a
it
joke.
applies. Rose knows, like it applies in ways, and you just have to kind of. It's almost like there needs to be a translation. Like this means this. Yeah, this in traditional marketing means this in Web3. Like there could be potentially like a cheat sheet, um, and with some translations on what Web3 marketing terms mean in traditional marketing. That would probably help some people, but. Yeah, dude,
Bro, they
none
teach us
of it
about
really.
like TikTok now in like visual marketing. Like it's like how to go viral, and then like I just comment like it's not that hard. Like I've been viral before, and then the teacher just kept like calling me out every single class. I stopped going.
Yo, that's the
TikTok
thing
marketing's
about
so different, bro. It's so good. Go ahead, Beep, and
that's
then
the
out.
thing about like business teachers, right? Like if you're a good business teacher, why aren't you out in the world being an entrepreneur? You know what I mean?
I saw this TikTok video, and it was like a mechanic shop, and they had hired some, Gen X, or is that Gen X? Is it Gen Z? I don't know, the younger generation to do a video, and all the video was like dee doo dee doo dee doo, and the camera's all shaking, and in the on the screen it just says they just hired me and I have no idea what I'm doing. Please help this blow up. And it had like millions of followers, and the page got so many followers from something so stupid. But whether that was intentional or not, which for sure it was intentional, the style was so good. But like that's TikTok marketing. Like if you can do something catchy like that and just make it dumb as shit and funny, and it worked.
You know, like I'm like close to like Gen Z, but I'm like a millennial. But The thing is, like, you boomers call Gen Z's dumb and stuff, but weren't you guys buying pet rocks in the 90s? Like, what the hell was that?
Bro, you're a
You
Gen
just
Z.
made them.
You're 23, right? Like you're a
No,
Gen
I'm
Z.
26. I'm 26.
Oh, I don't know. You're somewhere between a Gen Z and a millennial.
I'm
But
Yo,
myself, all right?
his marketing is so different. Like he markets while using emojis like this. I don't know how he does it. It's like multitasking, man.
You just gotta invoke emotion, you know? I don't have balance. I'm either, like, very inspirational or I just talk a lot of shit.
There's a term actually for the in between. It's Gen D. Gen D's nuts deep. What the fuck? Anyways.
Yo, your name
Yeah.
is actually perfect. Everything you steal always compounds, but you learn from it. And I'm joking. I'm gonna stop saying you're stealing. You're a good learner. Like like there's a guy. Okay, I'm not gonna FUD anyone. I'll just do it though. I'll do it for the comedic purposes. But there's a guy who rugged 2 projects and he was learning from it. Created this pretty big project. Is who's down here? Okay, I'm good. I'm safe.
Yo, that's my boy still, bro. I don't appreciate that, to be honest. Listen, man. Everyone in life makes mistakes. It doesn't mean you have to bash them all the time.
I know it was just a joke. I was just playing, you know.
I know those demon
Who's
tendencies, bro, but that's my man still. You know, yo, bro, he gave back all the money. I don't know what else you want him to do.
Nothing. I had beans before, and I capitulated at .4, and I
Oh
regret
no.
it. So I
What?
gotta fudge
Oh
the fuck out of
no.
it and
No.
get back in that bitch. So
Hey, wait till you guys
Bro,
get
you should have just gone with whatever was going on between you and Whale, and you should have just kept on going with it. Fudded the beans until you got back in at a better price. You
you
fucked
guys
up, my
stopped
guy.
me. All of you stopped me. I was
I
gonna
didn't
go
stop
eat.
anything, bro.
Yo,
Listen, man.
yo, yo,
My job here
yo,
is not to stop
I don't stop
anything.
nobody.
We don't do anything
You
like
guys
that.
are gaslighting. You guys should be threaders too.
Whoa.
yo,
Whoa.
Kur, I know you're big on beans, but I feel like they're going back to .4, so deep should be pretty good.
Yo, bro. Well, that's the beans prerogative, man. If they want to go to that price, I'm here for it. Listen,
I
man,
like
it doesn't matter what price any of these things go to. I'm not fucking selling.
I
I
like
don't
my
care.
beans on a Saturday morning at a pub, a British pub. Are there any?
I like them on
Well,
toast. I also like them with haggis. Um, with blood pie or blood pudding. Blood pudding. That's the one. Oh my
What the
god.
fuck?
Oh yeah, have you guys
My
heard about
grandma
eel
used to
jelly?
cook that stuff. It used to trip me out,
You
Have
guys
man.
you
aren't
guys
ready.
ever heard of eel jelly? These British bruvs out here, they're eating fucking eel and jelly. It's hella weird. That's
Yo,
why they
check this out though.
colonized the world. You know, they just don't have good food.
Yo, we need to go get some food. There's no other reason. But let's go. Jump in the boat. I've done some crazy shit for some late night snacks though, bro. I haven't jumped in a boat and traveled across the world and like invaded a country, but like I've I've done some late night missions for some Chinese food. I'll tell you that.
Harold and
I
Kumar go to
love
White
some
Castle.
drunk food. Yeah, dude, exactly. It's a very similar. So check this out though. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You guys aren't ready for the series of flutters that are about to come when things have turned around in Artifact and CloneX and they sold the bottom and now they're fudding because they missed the boat or they capitulated. It's a whole
just
different
tell
kind of
them
fodder.
come
You're
to
gonna see
bad
them.
taste,
Just wait.
bro.
Just wait.
Tell
There's
them
a
come
fodder
to
that
bad taste.
Bro, do you know how many influencers fudded Azuki? They did the same thing to Azuki. Everyone thinks they got to do the same thing. It didn't work here because we already seen it happen to Azuki. Bro, you're gonna
just
be like, oh, yo, bro. I heard all types of crazy stuff in this one space. They're like, oh, you guys don't even know who the founders are. I'm like, oh my god.
Holy.
there's one thing
Holy
of people who took a little bit of L, they sold their shit and then they fudded once they exited. Do you understand how bitter and nasty people are once they sold the bottom and shit turns around and goes back up, and they've completely missed the boat. They're the nastiest kind of fudders. So be prepared. You're going to have a lot of bitter people who sold in the low twos because influencers told them it was going to zero, and shit's going to turn around like we know it will. That's why our conviction's here. And they're going to come flooding, bro. They're going to find every reason to shit on you because they fucked up and they missed the boat, dude. It's a whole different type of fudder that we haven't experienced yet. Just wait.
Wait,
Happens
I
every
actually
time.
don't know who the founders are.
What's that? The
I
founders
don't
of
know who the
Artifact?
founders are.
We
Yeah.
have one on stage right now. We have Anya here. We've got Tevi, and then secretly, they teamed up back in 1943 and started
During World
Artifacts.
War II?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jeez, why'd you have to date me so far?
1943.
Yo.
Of all the years.
You guys are just you guys don't understand. They're time travelers. This is in a different dimension, next level type shit.
No, he definitely called you old, Anya. Yeah, you should
Whoa.
honestly. You're a demon, low key. You should switch sides now. These angels, honestly, they don't back you up. They just fight.
Yo,
everyone.
so okay, enough of this nonsense. But I appreciate your candor, Deep. I do appreciate it. But yo, how do I get the clone Zuki? How does that happen?
I don't know, bro.
Oh, there's one of the community members, Sushi.
Sushigami?
Sushinigami.
I'm not sure.
Yes, yes.
So sorry, and I don't know. They are creating the clone Zukis, and
I pinned it on top.
yeah, they're and so if you DM them, they'll give you the price points and stuff for those.
Okay, thank you very much. I do appreciate it because I've been
Okay,
seeing them.
to Toronto, and you calling the West Side the best, bro?
Yo, bro, listen, man. I like it out west. It goes down in the out west. I don't know what's happening in Toronto anymore. All I know is they increased my property tax. I'm not having it. I'm not that guy. I moved away. But also because of the cannabis stuff, right? They also raised they raised everything in Ontario. Bro, what is not expensive in Ontario? Tell me one thing that you buy regularly, and I'll tell you how much it costs out here. And I guarantee you it's cheaper. And I only pay 5% tax as opposed to fucking 13.
Nothing's cheaper here. It's actually terrible. I'm gonna fucking move to Florida soon, and I'm gonna be a Florida man, and you'll see me on a newspaper. I'm just preparing. That's why I'm becoming such a demon.
That's a good goal. I like it.
For the longest time, I was unaware of the Florida man. I thought it was all one person. I didn't realize it's like a phenomenon. I thought it was like the same guy, like who bit off somebody's face, stole a car, drove it through like a wall. Like I thought all that stuff was just one Florida man. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it's different people.
You can
Because
search up.
Fox is always like Florida man.
You can search up your birthday in Florida, man. And for my birthday, it says like the same date. It says Florida man caught throwing turtles and bananas at cars.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. It always sounds like it's the same dude. This is just like Florida man. He's like a villain in Florida that does obscene things.
Yeah,
Like
that'd be sick. Florida man as a villain.
Who is Florida man?
Florida man is a doodle for sure. I don't care what anyone says. Florida man is definitely a doodle. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I am gonna buy a doodle, but
yo, more clones. Buy more clones. Clones got more free shit than everything, bro. Yuga's the only one who had more free stuff than clones. I'll tell you that right now.
Yo, buy those Puma kicks. I heard they're fire.
Yo, bro, nobody wants those Puma kicks. That's the collaboration absolutely no one ever asked for. When did you ever be like, oh, look, Fear of God and Puma? What?
I'm literally gonna Puma
What?
pants.
I'm
Bro,
afraid of God.
I'm
because it
sick
was
to my
gonna.
stomach right now, man. I can't even.
Let's
Yo,
go on you.
yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate the subject change. Thanks, guys. No, I was gonna actually circle it back to what you were saying earlier, Compound, was about the different type of sentiment that we will see with which is people upset because they sold during the low, right? And then that's going to be a different kind of criticism coming in. And I genuinely don't have personal experience witnessing like a community kind of turn against the project because they missed the boat. The I when I first came into the space, like I was far and away, I'm massively obsessed with the CryptoPunks, and I had missed that window of like people left. It was low for a long, long time, and then like the people that remained were just building. Like they were just doing things. They were buying billboards and they were doing like stuff on the ground to like just keep the project like alive because they had a conviction for it. And I feel like that's where we are. And so I don't know if or how bad, I suppose, and maybe bad is not the right word, but how different that FUD could potentially be when we turn around and we go back up. So I'm curious the perspectives here.
So the difference would be, did you say CryptoPunks?
Yes.
So the difference would be is someone like what I'm saying is people who owned who owned clones and gave into the FUD, gave into the fear, listened to the influencers' threads and fear, and sold, right? And because they were upset for whatever reason, and then right after they sold, we've now turned around, and if we head back up, they were already in a bad mood, and now they're outpriced from where their sell point is. So for them to get back in, they're having to add ETH on top just to get some floor clone. That adds to the bitterness, and you can sense in their bitterness when they do sell the bottom, and they're like, "No, that project sucked anyway. So glad I got out." Like it's a rug. Like they talk like it was like a great decision, like getting out when they did, but really it's like, fuck, I missed it. Now I just have to convince myself that it was the right decision. It's like they're real adamant about convincing themselves mentally, like that they made the right decision, and they'll vocally do it on the timeline too.
Also,
if clones pump before like I buy the second one, bro, Compound, I'm gonna be on your algorithm. Like I'm gonna be in there. I'll be flooding clones.
No, FUD Tevi, bro. Tevi's the one over here like, I don't know, bro. Maybe buy an Animus, and I don't know.
he'll get you to buy a
I've
dino.
got Tevi's like, I've got 7 clones and I do 3D animation, but I don't know about you, man. Like, just get an Animus.
What is this voice?
I think also with
I'm selling my
how
Animus,
I sound
dude.
to you, Compound?
No, that's just how I sound. Like I'm selling my Animus, and if you guys want to buy my Animus bags, I'm buying another clone, dude. I don't care.
Also with the difference too, like when people were getting rid of punks back then, it was more about the conviction of the space. Like people didn't really believe in the space. Crypto was down too, and it was just risky. And then like big players started picking them up again when like you saw Jay-Z pick it up and others.
No, bro. The catalyst was the Gary V fucking thing call.
Insider trading call is what we'll call it.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm not gonna call it that because this is a recorded space, and I don't have.
That's what it is, but I'm not gonna call it that.
Yeah,
Hey,
the
guys.
vibes allegedly.
Imagine calling your most influential friends and just be like, yo, look, check this out. We're going to buy these JPEG pictures, and then we're going to sell the idea to all of our followers, pump this shit up and through 2021, and we're going to dump on those nerds, bro. We are going to dump on those nerds so hard.
But yo, where do you think he got the money for Vayner to invest in Artifact?
Dude, I don't know, but those nerds got dumped on.
Yo, bro, it's such a slippery slope.
Yeah, if you got the Logan and Jake Pauls in your conference video on Google Meet, bro, it's like you gotta rethink. What you're up to.
That was because of the Pokemon shit. They like pumped the fuck out of that, and then they're like, "Yo,
Those dudes have
Let's get
read
him to
some.
pump NFTs, and then he rugged a bunch of people. It's kind of ironic.
Logan and Jake
Bro,
Paul
he
have
rugged
rugged so
so
many fucking people, dude. They're the biggest grifters, man. Same with Floyd Mayweather, grifter, Soldier Boy, grifter,
Kevin
all
Hart,
of them.
grifter.
Kevin Hart, all of them grifters, bro.
I think Kevin Hart, he just couldn't get to the computer. He was just like, he couldn't see it.
Bro, bro, I tried to invite him to do a Farouk space just so that he could actually like go and explain to somebody what his fucking project is. What the hell? No one wants to look like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart doesn't want to look like Kevin Hart. Bro, listen, man. I have no problem with short people. I know everyone's always like, oh, you have a bias against short people. No. Okay? But you don't want to have a big head and be short. There are very short people that are very proportionate. Okay? But you don't want to end up on the spectrum where you look like a cartoon character.
Yo, Kuro, I had this idea before of making a project. I was gonna call it the Small People's Club and make a one-of-one Kevin Hart, bro. Don't fuck that shit, please.
So, do you guys remember when Tim Ferriss dropped his Rooster project recently, and the floor pumped to like 1 ETH, but he specifically said on his website like, there's no utility. I can leave this shit whenever I want. Like, it was in the disclaimer, like, if I get bored with this shit, I'm just leaving. And Degen's just pumped this shit to like 1 ETH floor. Like, that's what's wrong with this fucking space, is we're speculating on shit, even though it says I will rug you when I'm bored with this shit. Like, and people are still throwing their money at it, dude. Like, and where's that shit at now? Where's that fucking project? The
It's
Tim
rugged.
Ferriss project. It's rugged.
rugged.
And he's not at fault, right? I told you I was gonna rug you.
He put in the disclaimer, bro.
It's in the disclaimer.
It's in the
Fuck.
disclaimer, bro.
What the fuck, dude? What's up, Chevy?
I actually forgot what I was gonna say, so you can keep going.
All right. Well, are you thinking about buying more clones? Is that what's going on?
No, actually, it just came back.
Baron's buying clones. We're stacking clones, Tevy. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, y'all keep stacking it. I can't follow, so I'm gonna stay in my corner and keep creating stuff with what I got.
I was in agreement with Tebby, but I don't know.
I mean,
that's assuming that, again, like, dude, it doesn't fucking matter. You can't go wrong. Fuck, I don't have a right answer. That's all I know.
I mean, there's only 20,000 clones in existence, or will be in existence.
But yeah, actually,
and there's at least 2 million people in this world. So you do the math. At least.
He is bullish.
At least.
I'm super bullish. I actually had a serious question, Compound. Kind of going back to the FUD storm and people and I know where you're coming from and why that's likely going to be the case, right? But the question that I have, because that's something I actually spent time thinking about. At this point, at this juncture, right? Like seeing what Artifact has delivered on and what's going on with Nike, where the project is going, the NVIDIA news and and everything else. How does one really sit down, look at Artifact and this, and I'm going to call it a business, not a project, and not think that this has leg to go, and try to justify like not being part of it because they got
someone who's not into like sneakers and clothing and like buying stuff, someone who's not materialistic.
Well,
no,
I mean that's a good, but then even if you're not into clothing, right? Like you're not into clothing, but you're a creator. Like I feel like so when I think about this project, there's like creators, there's like people that want the 3D files so they can create and augment their brand. You have people who are into fashion for sure. You have the gamers. You have people that just care about tech. There's something for those people too. So I feel like there's a little bit of something for everyone, right? It's like, how do you get into something like Artifact and like have no idea what the project is about and walk away like disgruntled? Like I'm struggling with that.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not the people who get their foot in the door and actually start to research. Those people end up kind of diving in and going, oh shit, now I see the value here, right? But on face value, most of the people in this space, they don't dive further than just the PFP. They don't dive further than the hype cycle on Twitter. They don't dive further than than the culture and community on Twitter. So they actually don't know. They're just ignorant to what is actually being built in the background and the potentials in gaming, the potentials in AI, the potentials in fashion and streetwear and sneakers. They don't even know about that, Tevi. What they know is like this project floor price is up, this project floor price is down. I see this influencer talking about this one on Twitter. Like that's the extent, right? And it's purely culture and community based for like on the degen level, right? But you've seen in the last couple of weeks, you've seen a lot of we've onboarded like 3 new D-gods into Bad Take, right? Like they've like sold Utes and bought clones, and they go all in. They're like, holy shit, you've got this. Oh my God, you got this. It's kind of once you get your foot in that door, you start to realize, yo, there's actually shit going on over here.
Yeah,
But that initial foot in the door is the important part, right? And that's where we're trying to rebuild the
Yo,
culture out here, man.
I guess
That's
maybe like one more quick note, and this is again, I come from a different world, right? Like and some people are loaded to the max. I'm not. Like I actually work pretty damn hard for the stuff that I own and get, right? Um, so that blows my mind. Like even at a 2 ETH floor, like clones are, it's still a, like two. Well, I guess we're 2.5, almost 3 ETH right now. That's still a decent amount of money to put into something that you're not researching. Like that like I'm being completely serious right now, right? Like that doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I struggle with, like people coming in or buying this stuff like it's nothing. It's a pretty big purchase, right? At least to me it is. Like I'm not gonna
yeah.
invest or put money into something without like doing the research. So it's fascinating, I guess. Like I'm learning a lot as we talk every night and everything. Like it's fascinating to me that
yo,
people can be that superficial and with that much money that they're putting out there.
Yeah.
Tevi,
Welcome.
like the biggest FUD that I get, is that you put all that money in and you don't even get your sneakers for free. Like that's something that I get all the time, and I'm like, bro.
It's like if you are a member at a club saying that you should be able to use the facilities, not have to pay for any drinks, free food. But the place, so 125 to join and just to play golf. They just sent me a bill for $20,000 assessment. Uh, Pay it, or you can walk. You can leave. And a fucking Powerade is $6. Like I got my bill the other day. I'm like, Jesus. And then you got to pay for your guests to come with you. And you got to pay for for a freaking cart that's owned by the club. And when you leave, this is the best part. When you leave or you die, and that's the way you leave, you get nothing for the membership. It's not worth anything. There's no equity. There's, if you ever hear that a country club has equity, it's because it was structured way back in the day, and maybe it's worth like $5,000, and it was just a way for those old codgers to get over the fact that they'd have nothing to show for all the money they'd spent there at the end of the day. So the way it works is no one looks at the cost per round. Nobody that hunts looks at the cost per duck. Nobody that flies private looks at the cost per hour. But in this space right now, you got people that are approaching it that way. They're not really caring about what the price is per the shoe. But the best part is you get the access, you get to spend if you want, and you have something to show for it at the end of the day. And oh, by the way, the people you're surrounding with are building your brand. So this is a better club for me than the 3 golf clubs that I have, which mean a lot to me, but are economically insane, like horrible decisions.
Yeah, and I align with that. That makes perfect sense to me, right? Like, and that's the value that I see in this, and and we can pick whatever project, but like we're talking about CloneX right now. That's what I see. There's tremendous amount of like tangible and intangible value that comes with owning a clone. Like there's we can go on a rant about that, but it's it is mind blowing to me, and that people can spend that much and not think about it. and not even research why. Like they're just coming in for the meta. Like, oh, it numbers go up, let me buy this quick. And there's a place for that, right? But then going to, if we're now going full circle to the accountability piece, right? Like if you didn't do your research and you spent 10, 15, 20, hundreds $1,000 on whatever, it drops for whatever reason, and then you're mad at somebody else over it. Like how does that work? I mean, I know how it works, I get it, but it's just mind-blowing to me. And that's why I'm like, yeah, with compounds coming up, like people are going to miss the boat and you're going to have a whole different level of fun. I'm like, I expect that there'll be some stuff, but at the same time it's like, man, like how do you like, how do people rationalize that? Like, I don't know. It's interesting to me. Web3 is interesting to me.
Well, I think that's part of the degen culture, right? That's kind of the degen spirit, where people, they don't necessarily look into shit. They'll just go and they'll dump. And there's a little bit of a discrepancy between some people in the way they view money and the way people view money in the space, right? It's not necessarily correlated. Where 2 ETH for someone is not a lot of money, but then if you go into the outside world and say it's almost $4,000 for some people, that is a lot of money, right? But I think it's partially the degen thing. I think it's partially what Compound said, which is basically people just read the headlines of the newspapers and they don't read the articles. So take into consideration the dude that came up the other night where he was talking about, you guys need to pressure the owners. Like, a lot of the shit he was saying about the project was like stuff that people were complaining about 6 months ago, right? And then he just completely stopped paying attention for like 6 months and then came back around with the same stuff. But it's kind of like we're actually at a different place, and it's because he's just been reading the headlines of what everyone's been saying and not actually going in and doing like the research. So I think those are my answers to your question. And to kind of circle back earlier, I think the real answer is to buy 3 clones. Have one you love, one that you can flip when like you're like, all right, I broke an even, or profits are starting to come in, I'm gonna fucking unload this guy. Then you have your third one for when it's really going and you're like, all right, I'm sensing the euphoria. Then you get your third one and unload it, and then you wait till it goes down a bit, and then you buy back in. But I think,
I mean, that's the rule for sneakers, so I guess why not just do that, but like with 3 ETH instead.
Bro, why you gotta do me like that? Like I'm struggling to get a second one, and you say like I gotta get the third one.
SBJ's
I
down at that.
I didn't mention it
Poor
earlier. The
SBJ.
rule of 3. Rule of 3 is
Yeah,
pretty normal in
I heard
NFTs.
that like super early on in my NFT days, and I ended up getting 3 dinosaurs, and they all went to 0. So, and then I gave one of those dinosaurs to Compound. So, rule of 3 is cool,
If
but
you
you gotta, again, this is where I go back to like research is king, man. Like you gotta do your research. That's why it blows my mind. Like especially if you've taken a few L's, bro, or dudes or dudettes, like you gotta go and do your research. If you've never taken an L in the space, I get it. Like degen all you want, or if you're made of money, degen away because you spend money anyways, right? But for the average person, and I am the average person to some extent, and research is everything.
we ride on emotion. Mon ami, ta vie, c'est l'émotion et c'est pas comme la recherche.
Non, l'émotion, ça n'a pas de place ici, sincèrement. Mais je comprends l'émotion, mais ça fait chier le monde. C'est pour ça que tout le monde se plaint, en fait, et qu'il y a tout ce FUD. But anyway, we don't need to go full French mode.
I said
Like,
we're in an emotional space where it's emotion over like fundamentals, and that's people, man. In all markets, it's always fucking emotion, man. People don't care about the fundamentals, but the fundamentals, if the project is actually doing something, it could survive kind of down periods like this, I believe, but everyone else is just about the emotion. So SBJ, get 3 clones and don't be emotional and you'll be fine.
Yo, what did you guys say in French? Because I'm bricked up, but I did not understand anything.
Bro,
They
that
said buy a
he just
fifth one.
covered it, pretty much.
He said, paint me like one of your French girls.
Yep. Guys, I'm up in the mountains with Lil Shaw the Demon for her birthday, and we are gonna hit the resort hot tub and have like a good evening, for her birthday. I had 2 hours in 2 hours in here spending with y'all. I want to take her down and go do some special shit for her birthday. So I appreciate you all coming through. We'll run it back tomorrow, and then we're gonna go to dinner as well. So we might have like 2-hour sessions, but I think that's fine. It's her birthday year. She says she claims the whole year. So, but I appreciate y'all coming through. Somebody jump in the Discord chat and like run a chat in there and hang out. Strategize ideas, build some community, and I'll be in there messaging with y'all. So, Kuro, you got anything for us, bro? That's so dope, dude. I can't wait for that. Rose?
I learned something today about just communication. That is to be kind, be clear. That's it. And that I think relates to all types of relationships.
Yep. No, I agree. I appreciate you, Rose. Appreciate all y'all coming through. I'll see you tomorrow. Much love.